Do you know where you get your water from?
From the ocean.
Are you sure?
I think so. I hope so.
How do you conserve water?
By turning off the faucets when they're not in use.
Anything else?
Flushing the toilets.
How much water do you think you waste?
I waste a lot of water. Because I take like a 45-minute shower. And I go to Albertsons a lot and I buy like 24 packs of water. And then they're gone like in 2 weeks. Because I give them away to the homeless.
Okay, thank you. How much water do you think you use a day?
I would say about 2 or 3 gallons a day from showering, brushing my teeth, washing my mouth, and drinking water.
So do you think that's a lot of water?
I think so.
Do you conserve water?
No, I am the worst person at conserving water. I turn on, like when I'm gonna take a shower, I turn on the water and I just let it running for like 25, 30 minutes and I don't even do anything. I just I switch the radio and stuff and I just listen to music.
So how about when you brush your teeth? Do you turn off the faucet?
No, I don't. I leave it running and then I put the water in there and I kind of look at it and I trip out on it and then I brush my teeth.
What do you think is the best way to conserve water?
The best way to conserve water is when you're shampooing your hair, you turn off the water. And when you're washing your body with like body wash, then like turn off the water. And then turn it back on when you actually use it. What percentage of water do you think is available for us that we can use?
I think there's about 40% water that would be used in the world today.
Why do you think so?
Because the majority of the water, it's like in the ocean, and we can't use it because of the amount of salt and sodium and stuff.
What complications do you think will arise from the lack of water in the future?
That we're probably going to be looking for something else to drink. But then, I don't know, the world's probably going to change. There's going to be
Is there any things you do to conserve water?
No, sorry, I'm a bad person. I deserve.
Hi, my name is Matthew Montana.
Okay, what percentage of water do you think is available for us to
use? 25, 30%.
Why do you think so?
Well, because we use a lot of water and like, I guess daily people use a lot of water. So
Where do you think we get our water from?
From lakes, ocean.
Okay, and what would you say if I tell you that there's less than 2% for our use?
That's crazy because I would imagine we use a lot more than 2%, so that's crazy.
Okay, and what complications do you think will arise from the lack of water?
Well, it'll affect just our whole ecosystem because we rely a lot on water, and water is the most dependent thing that we have to our use, so it would affect us a lot.
Okay, and are there any things you do to conserve water?
No.
Did you have any idea that we were facing a water crisis?
Most likely, yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Water, an essential resource we have had for millions of years, yet we have taken it for granted. But now, with increasing world populations and demands for water, a serious crisis is emerging over future supplies and uses of this precious commodity. Contrary to popular belief, drinking water only accounts for a rather small portion of the usage of water. Rather, irrigation for agricultural crops and other industrial uses account for the majority of freshwater use. Water efficiency and conservation can be used to reduce our need for water, with few or no cost to living standards. If nothing is done, conflicts will arise over agricultural and residential usage of water, as has happened in the past.
Inside the typical American home, of the 70 gallons of water used per person per day, 28% of the water is flushed, 23% is used for laundry, 19% is used in showers, 15% is used in faucets, 12% is wasted due to leaks, and 3% is used in dishwashers. However, these technologies are inefficient, and with modern, more efficient appliances, residential water usage can be reduced. For example, old toilets used 6 gallons per flush, but with newer regulations, they now use 1.5 gallons per flush. However, new technologies, such as wireless urinals, can reduce or entirely eliminate the need for water. These systems are already gaining popularity in Europe and Japan, with much success for companies such as Caroma, who manufacture dual flush toilets allowing for water conserving partial flushes. This water efficiency is reflected in their daily use of water as
the other one was on water conservation projects you were talking about. Yes, we could go to the waterless urinals. I think that's a very good step. The city of Irvine and Irvine Ranch Water District, all of their new homes have, all their toilets are recycled water. So they're getting the water at a cheaper rate, about half of what they paid for regular potable water. And so, yes, some cities are really moving with water conservation. Us here in Garden Grove, we take water conservation very seriously. We have a group of team members that meet together to discuss water conservation projects in Garden Grove to help the customers and residents get cheaper water and to conserve.
The areas irrigated in California, 54% uses flood irrigation, 16% uses spray irrigation, while 30% uses drip irrigation. In flood or surface irrigation, water is supplied from trenches to the crops. However, since water is distributed through the fields unevenly, this results in some areas receiving too little water, while other areas are flooded with water, resulting in water loss through runoff. However, flood irrigation is still the most widely used approach in California simply because it doesn't require any advanced equipment and is thus the cheapest to implement. In spray irrigation, a sprinkler is used to spray water onto the crops so that water is evenly distributed. However, it still results in water loss through evaporation. Drip irrigation, or micro-irrigation, solves both of these issues as it uses pipes to drip water onto crop roots and stems, thus minimizing water loss through runoff and evaporation. Through usage of water irrigation and other water-conserving irrigation methods, the impacts of agriculture on water usage can be significantly reduced. The massive, inefficient usage of water in agriculture is due to the cheap water available to farmers as a result of water subsidies, which thus encourages wasteful water use. When it was originally created in 1936, the Central Valley Project, or CVP, aimed to provide water subsidies to help small farmers in the Central Valley. However, today, it is simply providing water to the largest farms at below market price. In 2002, of the $416 million worth of water subsidies provided by the Central Valley Project, the largest 10% of the farms got 67% of the water, at rates of 2% of what the residents pay and at 1/10 of the cost of replacement supplies. These water subsidy laws need to be discontinued, and other legislative reforms have to be made to discourage, rather than promote, wasteful water usage.
What are the practical measures business can take to conserve water? Well, there's several things they can do, son. One is you can have MODOC or Orange County Water District come out and they can assess your business to see how they can cut back in water usage on water saver heads, aerators for your faucets, and a best management practice for your business to see where we can cut back in your water usage.
We can learn much about the future of water storages means by looking back on past conflicts over the usage of scarce water supplies. There have been many such water wars throughout history, not only in California, but also throughout the world. The classical example of water war began in the 19th century and is still continuing today, between Los Angeles expansionists and farmers in the Owens Valley. Since Los Angeles is located in what would naturally be a desert, its growth was limited by water supply. For that reason, the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power, or LADWP, constructed the Los Angeles Aqueduct to divert water from the Owens River to the city in order to satisfy the city's growing demand for water. This took a devastating effect on agriculture in Owens Valley, and legal action began, yet failed to stop the diversion of water from the Owens River. The battle only intensified in the 1970s when the LADWP began constructing another aqueduct on the lower Owens River, diverting water away from the Mono Lake an ecosystem vital to local wildlife. After reports began about how these water diversions were leading to the desalinization of Mono Lake, environmentalists formed the Mono Lake Committee and put pressure on the LADWP to take measures to prevent destruction of the Mono Lake. Now, although the issues have been resolved, there are still issues concerning the massive amount of water consumed by Los Angeles and the electricity required for the transport of this water. Another water war nearly erupted in the early 1974 in the Middle East between Iraq and Syria, when Iraqi troops gathered on the Syrian border and threatened to destroy Syria's Al-Tawra Dam on the Euphrates, as it had reduced the flow of the Euphrates River to Iraq. Many political experts have predicted that if water usage patterns continue as today, there will be many more wars over water in the Middle East in the near future, due to the location near the equator and surrounding desert. With already lacking of water and the impending effects of climate change, many countries will soon not have enough water for its population.
How about the future concerning water? Water is it's an ongoing process. As you know, we have what they call the hydrologic cycle, and if we don't get rain, which is snowfall, which is snowpack, we have no water that goes into our groundwater basin, and that's our aquifer. And now we're in a 100-year drought right now, so things are getting pretty bad right now as storage in our basin. But we can go about 5 years in a drought condition before we really have to set some measures in place. But this first year, it's going to be a tough one too. We only had about an inch of rainfall, and we should have anywhere from 7 to 10 inches of rainfall. So we're concerned about that right now.
The future appears bleak regarding the water supply. There are skeptics about the water issue, but the reality is that if we do not change our mindset now, then we will be faced with complications out of our reach in years to come. The best solution to the impending water crisis is water conservation, as other proposed solutions such as desalinization from the ocean are either unrealistic or unfeasible to implement. Among the ways that you can help make a difference is to fix leaky faucets, which saves 20 gallons per day for every leak stopped. Wash only full loads in the washing machine and dishwasher, which saves 300 to 800 gallons per month. Shorten the amount of time in the shower, which saves up to 700 gallons per month. Do not water the lawn on windy days because there is too much evaporation, which wastes up to 300 gallons in one watering. And turn off the water while brushing your teeth, shaving, and things alike. Also, water conservation puts less pressure on our sewage treatment facilities and uses less energy for water heating. Approximately 6% of the energy used in California is for pumping and treating of water. The use of more sophisticated technology can be helpful in increasing water efficiency and cutting back on wasteful approaches. Most importantly, public awareness and education are essential to conserving water.